talking about shade trees. And shade trees really add a lot to your home and property value. They can add as much as 20% of value to your home once that you have that mature tree in your yard.
Not to mention, things that we don't ever really talk about is that they benefit us on a healthy level as well. They cool our environment through photosynthesis, they clean up the carbon, so there's a lot of other reasons why we should be planting shade trees in our yard.
And the things that you need to consider about shade trees before you even start is you need to realize how much space they take up. So always consider the ultimate mature height and width of a tree so that you don't put it in a place where it's too confined and you're going to spend all of your time pruning it and trying to take care of something that, if you consider those size issues, it's very, very important as to where you put it.
So a typical small tree is about 20 feet or less. And when we think about placing a shade tree of that size in our yard, we want to be aware of what that future height is going to be.
Small trees should be at least 10 feet away from any structures or sidewalks or driveways. And larger trees, which grow up to 40 feet and more, they need a lot more room. And so they should be like at least 20 feet away. The really large trees like mesquites and palo verdes, they look great when they're small and very attractive, and they are, of course, drought tolerant, so they don't take as much water use. But people make the mistake of putting those in an area that's much too small for them, and they overgrow that area very quickly because they are very fast growing. We have the two different types of trees, which are deciduous, which means that they lose their leaves in the fall and are dormant during the winter months. And then we have evergreen trees that keeps their leaves all year round. It's important that you place the different types of trees in the areas that do the most benefit. And deciduous trees are best planted in a southern or western exposure to where they can shade your home during the hot months, and that they can actually allow light in during the winter months to actually help warm your home as well. And that's as opposed to evergreen trees, which are best planted on the north or west, northwest area, which will protect your home from those cold winter winds that blow in.
What are some of the trees that you would recommend for our environment?
Well, some of the real popular ones that do real well here are, of course, the oaks. There's several varieties of the live oaks, the holly oaks, and those, as well as some deciduous trees like the Chinese pistache or red push pistache. Both those are excellent trees for here, have very little problems with diseases and
they give
insects.
off great color.
Yes.
They're beautiful. You can have fall color here in
That
the
is
valley
true.
with the Chinese pistache.
That is true. There's also things like some of the ash trees, like Raywood ash, are pretty good. But also some of the drought-tolerant native trees, like the mesquite varieties and the palo verdes. They're all great trees for here.
And an important thing to discuss as well is irrigation for large shade trees. They are going to need to be irrigated very differently than a shrub. So we need long, deep, infrequent irrigation.
Yeah, when you set up an irrigation system, you really should have all of your trees that are going to grow larger on a separate irrigation line or a separate valve. That way they can get longer, deeper penetration of water for their deeper and larger root system, and not have it as often, because the important thing is to get that water deep for trees, but they don't have to be watered as often as a lot of your smaller shrubs and flowers do.
So when you're ready to plant, head to Southern Nevada Water Authority's website or Star Nursery's website to find all the information you need for choosing, planting, and caring for your newly planted shade tree.